Here at a very sunny Hungaroring, as you can see, and the talk of today, the media day for the race on Sunday, has been about one person, about Daniel Ricciardo, and he kicked off the day today. There was a massive media scrum in the Red Bull Hospitality, which is just down over there. Haven't ever seen that many people in a media session before. And Ricciardo was kind of, as you expect him to be, he's his happy self, pretty pumped about this weekend. But that talk about Ricciardo, it kind of had reverberations into other sessions. Everybody was asked about it in the press conference. Sergio Perez was asked about it. Lewis Hamilton was asked about it, and he actually had an interesting bit about Nick de Vries and said that's not how Formula One works. It's actually how Red Bull seems to operate. And if you look back at Red Bull's history, that does seem to be the case. Ricciardo himself seems massively pumped for this weekend. Obviously, we know how everything came together at Silverstone in that test, and how he's come in for this weekend. Expectations are pretty low. That's probably the worst seat in F1 right now in terms of pure performance, but we know that he sees it as a stepping stone to Red Bull. So that's clearly what he wants. He said as much. And what was really nice to hear was him saying that in that time he's taken off from Red Bull, he's just rediscovered that love for Formula One that clearly I think he'd lost at McLaren, especially towards the end of last season, once he'd only been kicked out of the team and was basically just driving to see out that second year of his contract. So big weekend for Daniel Ricciardo. Sergio Perez downplayed how much of a pressure situation this puts him under. A lot of people have framed Ricciardo coming back as a move against Perez, but everything we've heard from Red Bull still is that Perez will see out that contract that he has into next season. Ricciardo wants a seat in 2025. Perez is confident he'll keep that seat, and Christian Horner has said if Perez has a clean weekend here, it seems as though that will kind of wipe the slate clean in terms of the frustrations around Perez and his poor recent form recently. What will be interesting is if Ricciardo has a strong weekend here, a strong start to life back at AlphaTauri, and if Perez still has some of those issues. He hasn't qualified well for a long time now, and if he's fighting this weekend, and he's fighting back up the order of a very dominant car, it'll be a very interesting story going into Belgium and going to the summer break. So watch this space, but a great day today because, the stories will kind of, get a bit dull coming into this part of the season. Daniel Ricciardo's kind of kicked some life into it today, so great to see that, and we'll see how he fares on Sunday.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.